Poor Tamar. So, I thought Toni Braxton was going to be above the kind of behavior that is shaming of someone's mental health status, especially when that status is sadness or anxiety. Tamar has a diagnosis for depression and anxiety. These are not things that suggest schizophrenia or mania, seeing little green people, psychosis, hearing voices. It's just, I'm sad. Like, I'm sad enough to take myself out of here. It's profound sadness, and that mental health is real. Mental health is real. You're sick. And Toni didn't say the you're sick thing, but just them all being at the table, trying to speak these horrible words over Tamar is like incredibly painful. Like, Tamar must have said something like she went to go do something with her phone and found out she was paying for 6 different phone lines for Towanda. And Toni chimes in with the gaslighting saying, oh, well, I thought we were all family and taking care of each other. It's like, being family and taking care of each other is not the problem when Tamar put $50,000 down on Towanda's house. That's not the problem. It's the fact that you didn't ask. It's the fact that I didn't know. It's the fact that money is leaking from my pocket and I have no idea where it's going. Toni, you knew that was the issue. Now, here's the deal. Toni is still a classy woman, an icon, a legend, and the love of my life. I'm a widow. The love of my life put me deep in my Toni Braxton energy. Like, just all of her music was so true to me during his lifetime. So I'm never going to take that away from Toni. But when I saw that, like, I was sad. I was sad because you can see that Tamar, when it comes to her family, even though Toni is the icon, the legend, Tamar is a chosen one archetype because she's the kind to say, she's a family curse breaker. She's a pattern interrupter. She's the kind of person like, I'm not really with this. I'm going to call this what it is. And people will penalize Tamar because she's dramatic, because she's outspoken, because she's not the quote unquote perfect victim. And to be the perfect victim, you have to be silenced. You have to be small. You have to be cowering. You have to be totally weak. But if you fight for yourself, defend yourself, stand up for yourself, you're this participant. Like they make her out to be the bully. They make her out to be the bad guy. It's like, sure, she's loud, she's outrageous, she's all the things that make that show good TV to watch. Because if you subtract Traci and Tamar, who's watching the show? It's just going to be like, it may as well be Toni Braxton streaming her concerts, and if her sisters are going to sing backup or not. Like, it's not, what are you going to watch? Tamar is tube. Tamar is television. She's absolutely watchable. And no one's going to watch Towanda be mean all by herself. No one's going to do that with her. And for her to like, oh, let's press charges. And Toni's kind of like, huh? Like, I just got into a fight with my sister. Press charges. Press charges. And it's like, Towanda the thief, like, you of all people want to press charges when you got in trouble for stealing your mom's SSI, taking checks, taking money from people, siphoning money from your sister that she doesn't even know that you're taking because she was kind enough to give you access to her credit cards. And you want to press charges of all people? Tamar is depressed and sad because she's an honest person. And when I say Tamar is an honest person, we all know, whoever's been watching reality TV for the past 25 years, Kandi Burruss is the benchmark of honesty and integrity. And I will tell a story without embellishing, she will tell you the gospel truth. Kandi is justice. Kandi is like the Greek goddess Themis of like the one who holds the scales, like the balance. Like, that girl will testify. And that girl, we've never, in decades of seeing Kandi on TV, caught her in a lie. Tamar's word is near Kandi Burruss level. Tamar is one of those black Christian, the black Christian girl archetype, like the original black American, like enslaved, like that culture. We have these Christian girl archetypes where it's like, you got the Kojic girl who's always in a jean skirt and a t-shirt and she won't wear nothing tight, but she'll mop you up. she'll mop you up and she might cuss you out. Then you got the Christian girl who's really, really cutesy, sedity, whatever, and you've never heard her say a swear word. You've never heard her say a swear word. You've never, seen her act out of class. And then you have the Christian girl who will knuck a few bucks. She might cuss, but she will not lie. She will never give you hypocrisy. She will call herself and everybody else exactly what it is. And that's Tamar. That's Tamar. She's not into lying. She's not into being a liar. And part of the reason she's depressed with anxiety is because she doesn't pull the wool over herself. Like some people lie to themselves and gaslight themselves in order to handle their reality, whereas Tamar just looks at stuff and she's like, man, this really hurts. This is really sad. This really offends me. She's a very sensitive woman. She's a very soft and sensitive woman. And I don't know why people can't reconcile in their minds that she's soft and sensitive because she's loud and dramatic. Like the two things can't coincide. They usually do. They usually do. Sometimes people who are silent and stiff are very stoic. It's not like, oh, she's so sweet, she's so quiet. It's like, yeah, that quiet girl will F you up. She don't care. She does not care. And you think that silence is so cute and you think that loudness is so, boorish or whatever. But I'm like, Tamar is a sweetheart. And you can tell because you can look at if a man puts his money where his heart is, you can see where Tamar's heart is. And I'm like, you guys are trying to stump the light out of this girl. Like, yeah, Tony's an icon all by herself, but the family show, all this stuff taken off. Like Tamar didn't even need y'all. Spinoff show, Vince and Tamar, didn't even need you. Promised herself, made a vow to herself, to her own soul, that she was never going to get back on this reality TV show with you, and did it for you, did it for your checkbook, did it for your checking account, did it for your financial stability. And this is how you treat her? Making fun of her for being depressed and having anxiety, like she's eating toilet paper, like she's picking her skin and full of scabs because she sees ants in her skin that aren't really there, like talking to her like she sees Martians and little green men. And people who are depressed and deal with anxiety, these are some of the most sober-minded people on earth. And I'm telling you, the way that our society is sick, the way that some of our families are sick, depression and anxiety is the only it's some of the only normal responses to what we're dealing with as a people. It's some of the only yeah, that's how we know you're still human and you still have a heart. That's how we know you got a pulse. Because you're reacting to all of this nonsense that should not be. But I'm surprised at Tony, because Tony gives me classy, sophisticated. She gives me evolved. And I'm like, her sitting at the table like, oh, mental health is real. Mental health is real. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with the statement in and of itself, but the context of it, I'm like, Tony, that is opposite your image. That is opposite your image, sis. And so I'm really in pain for Tamar, because as far as Towanda goes, Towanda and Tamar are Cain and Abel. Your sister does not love you. Your sister does not love you. That is not love. None of that. Anybody who's ever been loved, who's ever been properly loved, you know what love looks like. That is not love. That is not sibling rivalry. That is like, oh, we're just not cool right now. There's no love. That woman does not love you. Blood don't mean, people are always saying, oh, blood is thicker than water. I'm like, finish the quote. The blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. That's what that really means. That's what that really means. And that's an expression of the fact that people who follow the same faith are often closer than people who are born of the same blood. That blood ain't very thick at all, honey. And neither is the water of that womb, child. That womb that you guys shared in Evelyn Braxton. The girl does not love you. She low-key hates you. That is what a hatred looks like. She wants to destroy Tamar's life. Hovering over Tony, begging her to press charges on her baby sister. Her baby sister who, Tamar has been calling Tony Braxton since she learned how to say Tony Braxton. Tamar loves her big sister. and sure, there's a rift right now, but like you can tell, like even in the fight, even in Tony, like, oh, don't piss off Toni Braxton, don't you go there with Toni Braxton. Like you could see that these are two sisters who love each other, who are fighting. These are two sisters who respect each other, who are fighting, even though I did see Toni kind of join in with her other two sisters, Priscilla and Griselda, or whatever Cinderella's stepsisters were named. And like you kind of joined in when it was like, oh, well, I thought we were family and we're supposed to help each other. Her putting 6 accounts on my phone account, like that has nothing to do with being family. It has something to do with respect and permission. It's my money. I should know what you're doing with it. How are you going to, like, you're painting over the fact that Towanda is a cold thief. Like, that's low-key a stone cold criminal. Oh, I'm going to make you the maid of honor, but I don't want you here. It's because you wanted her to pay for it, like she paid for your house. You know how it is in Black American culture. If you got a man, you can't be asking people for money. If you got a man, you can't be asking people for money because they're like, what are you doing with that man? It's like that. But you're out here looking like a come up for him, and you guys are living off of, you know, your sisters. Like, I don't even know what else to say. But my heart goes out to Tamar, and I think I would be depressed and having anxiety in that situation because Tamar loves her family. Towanda don't love her, but she loves Towanda. And to have to let go and to have to come to that realization as a sibling is rough. There are siblings who have offed each other. There are grandchildren who have offed grandparents. Like there's no love. It's not reciprocated. But I think that's a dangerous situation for Tamar. They did a really good job making her look like the villain throughout the years, but like the glamour has fallen, the mask has slipped, and you could just see so clearly that Tamar is victimized by her family. And it's part of the reason we get the wild, loud, expressive Tamar, because if she doesn't say, ouch, that hurt, you know? Was it Zora Neale Hurston or Maya Angelou who said, you know, if you don't speak up about your pain, they'll kill you and say you enjoyed it. They'll take you out and say you liked it.